Hi everyone, it's Adrienne Leah. This video is going to be a walkthrough of the Merryday Tarot by Louisa Poole. I bought this as a birthday gift off of eBay, and it was a reasonable price, especially for a self-published deck. I'm not sure if it's back in print, but I did see a couple of sellers selling this deck. Mine is a used copy, so there is writing on the inside of the box, but other than that, it's in well-kept condition. So I have the cards out and the pamphlet that you get with it. So I'm sorry if this video is wobbly. I'm holding my phone stand. I don't have the best setting for this for the videos where I'm I'm showing the cards, but I wanted to go to an area of my house where there was good lighting. So the box says, a unique translation of the traditional tarot deck that returns the tarot to its roots while incorporating numerology and archetypal mythology, presented with dramatic and impactful images combining the ancient and modern traditions. Published by Jackie and Rick McCabe, and that's in Salem, which is awesome, and copyright 1997 by Millhouse McCabe Inc. And design, boy, I'm sorry, I'm just reading it. And this is the back. So it says Merryday Tarot, the Four Seasons, and You. And this is one that you can use to quickly look up certain meanings and associations. Which is nice. I don't really look at the guidebooks that often. I would consider that a guidebook, but I heard that there's another one. So that's nice to quickly look at the meanings. So this is the back. I heard the cardstock wasn't good. I don't mind it. It's on the thinner side, but considering it feels more like a cardboard cardstock, it isn't too bendy. But if you were to cut the borders based off of the front of the cards, then it could stiffen up. So I'm first going to do the major arcana and then do the minors. So I put them in order, mainly because I wanted to see the minors in order. And again, I mainly bought it for the minor arcana, which is a first for me. I usually, with the artwork in the major arcana, since it usually pops out more than the minors, I think I like looking at the majors more so in other decks. So this deck also reminds me of the Ancestral Path Tarot, which, based off of the copyright on the box, it came out later. So I really like how it has 0 and 22 to say that you start with the Fool and you end with the Fool, and 0 being a constant anyway. It has nice key terms. I think they make sense. They connect well with a lot of the interpretations that I have for the cards. So I don't mind having them on there. I feel like I'll mainly use this for the winter. I get more of a shamanic feeling from the deck, although some of the cards, or a lot of the cards, may say otherwise, depending on how you interpret them. Because I would say I changed my decks based off of the season. I'll give some examples. So for the summer, I use mainly summery decks, and then for the fall, I would use more of my fairy decks. Winter is a very specific time where I use my shamanic, and especially Native American themed decks. Fairies also come out in the spring too, but in the summer, I used my Terror of the Nymphs nearly every day. I still bring it out, but not as often as I did and it comes out around springtime too. So the Lovers and the Devil card are cards that I was questioning on whether or not I wanted to purchase this deck, which they aren't bad cards, but when I was looking up the cards online, and I was looking at Dark Star Tarot's video on this, and she has a lot of flip throughs for decks. I was like zooming in as much as I could just to see what was up with the cards. And it's interesting how the Devil and the Lovers cards, they look like they are similar in a way that the figures are put together, but I'll just put that one to the side. They're not the same people, which that would have been an interesting take if they were. I do like this card, Studying. And I like how there's different religions. I really love the interpretations for these. As I said with the keywords on there, that they work well with how I view a lot of the cards. And even with the spin-offs, I can see why they were done. This is more of a tamed strength card, which is a good translation, but I would also go in a different direction with it too. But then again, with the look of the card, you can read it in different ways, as you do with tarot. They have enough symbols, and the deck is pretty emotive as it is. This is a good way to use, what is it? I'm just forgetting. Fog for cards like these. for, well, since it's the Hermit, and that effect would be good for maybe like the Moon card or something clearing up. And that's interesting, more cloudiness for this one, because it can represent the unknowing too. And Karmic Activator, that's it. That's cool. Another reason why I bought this deck is because of the dragons. My husband loves dragons. He's definitely a fire element, double fire with his Chinese zodiac, and he's a Leo. I'm using my left hand to show the cards. Well, I'm a lefty, and also because on my right hand, there's a tattoo that I got when I was a bartender, and one of the other bartenders tattooed me. She used sterile product, or sterile new stuff to do it. Like, I saw her opening the things and I trusted her. But considering it is a hand tattoo, which isn't recommended by a lot of tattoo artists, mainly because the ink doesn't stay well, it can be retouched. It's not in the best condition right now, but it's not the worst. Anyway, I like this one. So, as I said, it was a used deck, and I don't want to really blast the person that sold this deck, just in case they don't want their name put out there, if it is their name, real name. So, part of the name is Phoenix, and I was talking to my good friend Mary about it, and I was saying that I lived off of Phoenix Road growing up, so that's cool. And this shows that it's alchemical, which is nice because I don't see a lot of decks do that. I shouldn't say a lot of decks, but some decks, the ones that I've seen, they have more like an everyday take on it. So it's more casual. And I'll put up the Lover's card too. I would say they're definitely readable. I would prefer the Devil card over the Lover's card in here. It's just a personal preference. But I really like the self-limitations on here. And temper. Which I do associate with speed too. Or maybe impulsiveness. The type of personality that you wouldn't really want to associate yourself with. That's a cool tower. That kind of reminds me of the Alice in Wonderland movie, where she beheads the dragon. Not sure if this will be a part 1 or something, because I don't have a lot of time. I'm already halfway through my time, so I might have to upload this, but I could put them together, but I didn't want the video to be that long. And I'm just gonna look close up to see if she's whistling. I can't really see. Self-awareness. That's nice for looking within. And calmness within yourself, or being serene and acceptance. That's Lakota yawning. I think it would be funny if he was in public and people didn't know that his voice is really deep. And he talks a lot. He's my Siberian Husky. I really like this sun card. And the egg. So this is the fire suit. I'm first doing fire and then air, water, and earth blast, which is the usual order when I put my deck in order. So as I said, it reminds me of the Ancestral Path Tarot, sorry. There is a good amount of diversity in here, and in fact, I feel like a lot of them are shown in the Ancestral Path, the cultures, or the general cultures. I really love the dragons in this deck. Again, as I said, it reminded me of my husband, especially the mermaid one, which is the elemental, the water elemental card. Water element card. The fire element is so cool. And I love the colors, how they're more, I guess, color-coded based off of the element. Or the theme is definitely there. I'm just looking at this one again. I love all of the fire suit cards. I love how she's writing in. So beautiful. I would say the fire and cup suit, I mean the fire and water, so wands and cups are my favorite suits in here. one of my favorite Queen of Wands. Another deck that was a bit of a surprise purchase for me, it has my favorite Queen of Pentacles. This is my husband's card. So this is the air suit, swords, and the aces are amazing. They look really true to their element. All elemental association. This is so cool. And that's a nice one, meditation. I really like introspection for the Queen of Swords. I mean, Queen of Swords. Three of Swords. 3 is my favorite number, and I'm the Queen of Swords. And Land of the Rising Sun. Like, you'll get through. Difficulties. And it's internal. And it kind of reminds me of, I talk about Under the Tuscan Sun a lot because it was one of those inspiring movies. I really like the early 2000s movies. And she's talking about, there's this young couple and they're saying how they're gonna die if they're not together or something like that. And she's like, you're not going to die. You're not gonna die from not being together. So it's internal strength and overcoming. What you tell yourself. Or how agonizing. And motivation's a really nice word for this one. 6 of Swords. And Scholar Historian, which is another approach for the 7 of Swords. I noticed that cards go for this, and they also do like the Thief in the Night traditional meaning. And of course you can get a lot from the cards. You can use that as a base and then branch out. So I'm going to have to go a little quicker. I have I think 5 minutes left. I love clairvoyance for the 9 of Swords. That's a really nice word for it. And you can see a lot of the internal struggle and the colors used for this suit. Pegasus. The deck that I'm using right now it has that for air too. It's a different card though. Even though the pages are like the beginning and primal, they're pretty similar. The other one is an ace, which is also, it can be the beginning depending on what the reading is. Oh, and that's my card. Independent, yes. Resourceful, yes. And having a bougie sword. It kind of looks like grapes in her hair. I'm pretty regal too. And that looks like the Japanese ducks. I'm not sure if it is though. That they brought to America. Those are respected birds. You can't do anything to them. Not like a lot of people want to, I would hope. Water, my other favorite suit. I love this elemental. I have to put this in order. Okay. Yeah, I might have to upload this to my computer and then finish the pentacles. I feel like Mary would love the cups in here. And then Ancestral Path Tarot, the Native Americans are the Pentacles. I love the childlike love, innocence, the dream weaver. I wanted to see this one, lost transition, misplaced beliefs. The keywords are really nice. So and even the water dragon being common sense and clarity. Which is more intuitive, especially with the common sense. Let me see if I can delete something off of my phone, because I only need like 5 more minutes. That's what I used to say in the morning when I didn't want to go to school. Wishes realized. I actually had the elemental in the front. Tsunami. Perspective seer. So I have like a minute. I'll probably have to delete something. But this looks more dramatic to me. Maybe because of the architecture that's here. I do love this suit too. I believe in the Ancestral Path one. I would say European suit is, it isn't the Pentacles, it's the Cups. So I have 6 minutes from what I deleted, so it's more than enough. Now I can look at the cards a little bit more. So the Two of Pentacles with the rocks and the unstable land, and then there's water in the background with the ship. That's really telling. And while he's holding something up, which looks a little fragile too. And it's actually a dragon. Which does go with the mythology. And even with his clothing. I thought this was a sweet one with Outcast. For the Five of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles is one of my... It's a card that really speaks to me. And the song from The Hunchback is coming to me. I wasn't sure how I would feel with this suit. I do like the imagery, but it makes sense to me in that it's working with the lands, especially with the climate. It might be other parts of Europe. Too. Then again, there was conquering of other lands. I like the animals. And the last card. I like the purple eyeshadow. That's kind of fun. So that was the deck. I hope that you guys enjoyed my thoughts. I know I'll get some use out of this. If not this season, then winter. This is one that I feel like would be a good match or a good fit for this deck. So again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in another video. Bye.